Here's how I turned just $100 into over $30,000 plus EV sports betting with Oddsjam. Let's be honest, that is a ridiculous statement I just made. I turned $100 into over 30,000. Like, that's crazy. I never thought I'd be able to say that, but with Oddsjam and with the plus EV sports betting community, I developed myself into a profitable sports bettor and someone who, puts in the time and the effort and uses software like Oddsjam to my advantage to find profitable bets. So today I want to make a quick video on how I actually used Oddsjam in the beginning and how I continue to use Oddsjam to find profitable betting opportunities. I've got some tips and tricks as well. And yeah, we can look at my profits over time and really dig into the details. So before we get into this, make sure you do subscribe. It helps the channel grow. And definitely check out the VIP Discord server link down below. If you're trying to get plays sent directly to you, that's a place to be. Oddsjam is a great place to find them yourself, but it's always good to round out your strategy with both, smart people around you and software that makes you a better sports bettor. Okay. Let's get into the video. So with Oddsjam, there are 4 components that I would say, contributed to my success and really got me to the point that I am today and made me a profitable sports bettor. And so I want to go over those, and hopefully the video doesn't drag out too long. We'll make it quick. So the first one is taking advantage of bonuses on platforms when you're depositing. The second one is their positive expected value tool. The third one is their arbitrage tool. And the fourth is the fantasy optimizer. So let's start off with the bonuses. And this is exactly where you want to be starting off when you're just getting started with sports betting, and that is creating as many accounts and depositing on as many platforms as you can. Because as we'll see later, the more sports books you have, the more opportunities are available to you and the more profit that you can make, right? And so the crazy thing is that you actually want to be opening as many accounts and depositing on as many platforms as you can, and these platforms will reward you for doing so, right? And so this is the number one thing that really got me going in the beginning and helped me build my bankroll from $100 up to where it is today. And that's utilizing these platforms and their bet credits or deposit matches, actual cash that they give you. And so Oddsjam, basically compiles all of the sports books that are available for you in your location. For me, I'm in Canada. I'm in BC in Canada, and so these, basically they'll show you the top options for you to do this. So for instance, on TonyBet, get a $350 deposit match. On Sports Interaction, get up to $1,000 free in bet credits, right? And then 100% deposit match on Underdog, 100% on Thrive. There's tons of opportunities out there to get these bonuses that will help you build out that bankroll. So that's the first thing that I would do. If you're starting with just $100, what I would start off with is opening 2 accounts, right? And try to get a bonus on both of those accounts, and then use the arbitrage tool between the two to help you build out that bankroll. But if you have, a little bit more than $100, like maybe about 1,000, then I would really start, utilizing these deposit matches, because you just deposit $350 and you basically double that with this deposit match. So first things first, take advantage of those bonuses. So now that you have some sports betting accounts and you've got these bonuses, well, now you've got a bit of a bankroll, and it's time to start deploying that every single day consistently, increasing your volume and trying to become profitable. And that is exactly where Oddsjam really, really comes in. And that's with the positive expected value tool here. And this is basically the bread and butter for Oddsjam. This and the arbitrage tool are my 2 favorites for Oddsjam, because this really is where they provide the most value, right? And so this tool, what it does is it finds you profitable bets by crawling all the sharpest sports books in the world, comparing the odds and finding where there are mispriced lines, right? So let's take a look at this example here. The Canucks and the Kraken under 7 is minus 114 on stake. And so Oddsjam is saying, well, this is a 9.69% profitable play. And let's dive in and exactly why this is a profitable play, right? So with stake, it's at minus 114. But if we look at every other sports book and some of the sharpest in the world, like Pinnacle, it's at minus 157 or 156. DraftKings minus 160, right? Got Bodog at minus 155, right? We've got tons of sharp sports books telling us that this line should be priced at minus 156, minus 160 or so, right? You can see all these sports books are telling you that. Whereas Stake has priced this line basically incorrectly. They have it at minus 114, whether it's a difference in their algorithm or there's been too much, action on one side and they have to balance it out. They're pricing this way too low, basically, right? You're getting paid out way more than you should be if you take this under here. And so Oddsjam will basically say, okay, well, minus 156 on all these other books, Stake is at minus 114. So let's look and see how profitable would it be to take this bet here. And so what they do is Oddsjam will remove the tax or the VIG that each sportsbook will place on their odds, right? Because the sportsbook needs to make a cut. And so when that happens, they'll show you here, makes it again super easy with Oddsjam, they'll show you minus 140.58 is what the actual fair odds are for this bet. That's what the actual percentage for this to hit is in odds terms, right? And so when we see minus 140.58, that's saying anything below this, like minus 114, you're getting paid out way more than you should be, because these odds here is what you actually should be getting paid out at, right? And that is where the money is made, is when you can find these opportunities that you're getting paid out way more than you should be, right? And you do this every single day. You take as many of these bets as you can, and over time, you'll end up being profitable like me, right? So this is the Plus EV tool here on Oddsjam, and it basically shows you the book, the bet that you want to make, the game that it's in, the percent profitable. You can also add in your bankroll, and it'll tell you how much you should be betting on this. And yeah, I mean, this is an incredible tool, and this is what really started me going with Plus EV sports betting and helped me understand how this all works, because it lays it out for you really nicely and it helps you understand it. If you need more tutorials on how to do this kind of stuff, tons more videos on this channel that will help you with that. But this is a Plus EV tool, and I highly recommend this one. Definitely the bread and butter of Oddsjam. If the Plus EV tool is the bread and butter of Oddsjam, then the Arbitrage tool is the PB&J, because this Arbitrage tool is the number one way to make risk-free money every single day. And so what Arbitrage is you're taking two sides of a bet, right? And so let's use this Patrick Mahomes rushing yards as an example here. We've got plus 145 on this 10 bet or on DraftKings here, right? So we're getting plus 145 if we take the over. Whereas on BetAno, it's at minus 111 to the under, right? So clearly, BetAno thinks that it's much more of a toss-up, right? It's basically even between over or under on this play. Whereas DraftKings thinks that it's much more likely for Patrick Mahomes to go under here, because they're pricing the over at plus 145. So what we do when these two sports books are basically having a different quote-unquote opinion on the game, because they're pricing it differently in the odds, well, we're going to take advantage of that, and we're going to place one bet on one sports book and the other one on the other, right? So let's look specifically at this one. We can pull up the handy calculator on Oddsjam, and we can really look at the math behind this. So if we were going to place the over on DraftKings, we're getting plus 145. We're getting the most value we can. So let's say we place $100 on the over 24.5 on Patrick Mahomes rushing yards, plus 145 on DraftKings. That means that if we're going to, come back on the other side to take the under, well, we're going to take it on BetAno because they have it at minus 111, right? And those are the best odds we can get on it right now. And so if we take the over on DraftKings at plus 145, $100, the under at minus 111 on BetAno, we're going to put 128.89. And the reason we do this is because we want to have the payout to be the exact same between the two bets. And the reason we want that is because we want it to be so it doesn't matter if he goes over or under. We're going to get paid out the same regardless of what happens. And where we make the money is between the total stake, right, and the total payout. The difference between these two numbers is what our profit's going to be, right? Because if we win this bet here, right? Or let's say we win this bet. Patrick Mahomes goes under. We have 128.89 on the under, right? And we get paid out at minus 111 odds. So our total payout is $245, right? So we won, we're getting paid out $245, okay? But we have to remember that we lost 100 over here, right? So now we're at 145. But we also have to remember that we put in 128.89. So 145 minus 128.89 is this number here. And that's the actual profit here. But the crazy part is that even if you were to go over, we would still make this profit because we did the exact same thing on the other side. So that's how arbitrage sports betting works. And, you can do this on your own if you want to look and crawl sports books, but Oddsjam finds you these opportunities, tells you the percentage that you'll make, and then they have a great calculator here where you can just basically put in, okay, I want to put $500 on this side. Well, that means I got to put 644 over here, and I'm going to make this much here, right? And so that is basically, like I said, the PB&J. It's a classic. The arbitrage sports betting tool on Oddsjam, 100%. Is the risk-free way for you to make money every single day betting on sports, where you're taking both sides and there's no risk, right? Because you are able to win regardless of the outcome. Now, the fourth and final sort of arm of Oddsjam is their fantasy optimizer, and this is where we're able to do plus EV DFS, daily fantasy sports plays here, right? And these are platforms like Parlay Play, Prize Picks, Underdog, we've got Fliff, Jock Market, all these platforms where basically you're doing parlays, right? And so, I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with Prize Picks and Underdog. And what this tool does here is it, again, will crawl all the sharpest sports books in the world and find you the odds that they are pricing this specific bet at. And what we do is we look and we see these plays, and it's displayed nicely that this is a profitable play. But let's look at actually why it's profitable, okay? So this Zion Williamson is a perfect one here, under 4.5 assists. Now, the reason that this is profitable is because on Parlay Play and on Prize Picks and these fixed payout platforms, when you make a 5-man parlay, you're getting paid out, at a 10x, right? It doesn't matter what bets you're placing in there. If you're taking over or under, there are no odds attached to the over or the under of a player. It's a fixed payout. So that means that there is implied odds per leg in that parlay. If they're paying you at a 10x, well, that means that each leg in there has to be priced at something to give you that 10x. And so, for instance, on Parlay Play, minus 117 is what each leg is priced at for that payout. So what we want to do as plus EV sports bettors is find plays that are much more favored than this minus 117. So on this Zion play, well, FanDuel is telling us that his under 4.5 assists is minus 144. DraftKings minus 140, MGM minus 145, right? Clearly very favored across all these books here. So when we remove the VIG and the tax, it ends up being minus 120.17. And that basically is saying that the actual odds for Zion to go under 4.5, removing the tax and the VIG that the sportsbooks put on, is minus 120, which is much more favored than minus 117. So we're getting value, right? We're capturing the value, and over time, this small difference between these two numbers ends up being, your ROI and your profitability, right? And so that's the power behind this optimizer, is it pulls plays for you and allows you to become a profitable sports bettor on these DFS platforms with these fixed payouts. So whether you want to dominate the sports books on, FanDuel or DraftKings, or you want to be, making risk-free bets where you're pulling in $50, $100, $200 a day without having to risk anything, or you want to dominate the sports books like Underdog and Prize Picks and make these parlays where you're winning 20x slips, Oddsjam is the place to be because it allows you to do this profitably, easily and efficiently, right? Those are the three main things. You're making profits. It's profitable, obviously the number one. You want it to be easy. You don't want it to be difficult to do this. And you want it to be efficient. You want it to be fast, right? Because you only have so much time every day. You probably have a job and you don't have time to be looking for all these bets. So Oddsjam makes it super, super easy to do that. I've been talking long enough now. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, found it useful. If you have any questions about Oddsjam, drop it down in the comments below. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one.